Hello, everybody. My name is Sunil Mavadia. I'm the Director of Global Solutions Architecture at CloudBees. I manage the Asia Pacific, Latin America, and EMEA regions. And I come from a background of software delivery automation. For the last 30 years, I've been working in the CM industry, and for the last 10 years, working in competing companies other than CloudBees, delivering solutions around software delivery in general. So for those of you that don't know CloudBees is the recognized market leader today. If you are familiar with Gartner and Forrester reports, we are located in the top right quadrant, which basically puts us in the leader category. As you can see, Gartner says it's you need an easy to use interface to accelerate your team and application onboarding, product enhancements, cadence demonstration, and a strong ability to deliver on customer needs and requests. Forrester has a very similar quote, except they add mainframe, mobile, cloud native platforms. I would probably add database to that, middle tier systems, COTS deployments as well. So today we know that every organization is a software delivery organization. If you're doing any sort of software delivery or software development, you are a software delivery organization. With that comes the challenges of how to build package, test securely or test efficiently and with quality, and deploy your software securely, right, to production. This makes you a software delivery organization. And so software delivery organizations encounter risk and inefficiency from disconnected groups, teams, and tools. And I'm sure many of you listening today have or come from teams or multiple teams where your tools are different, your processes are not connected. And so that leads to a lot of black holes in terms of data being gathered from one stage or one environment to the next, or one process to the next, or one team to the next, right? And so disconnected development and operations frequently breeds conflict and inefficiency, and that is exacerbated by competing motivations and processes, right? These are quotes that come from Wired magazine. This leads to a lack of integrated end-to-end development, delivery, and release processes. Also a lack of end-to-end visibility into the SDLC, and a lack of traceability, audit, and governance. Today, 59% of organizations cannot keep an audit trail of who changed what and when. Where do you fit in this category, right? And so delivering fast and safe is nearly impossible with disconnected groups, tools. I would even add processes to this, right? And so many of you are aware of having multiple Jenkins masters. And with each Jenkins master, you might have a slew of different tools connected to build, package, test, and deploy your software. However, when you go from team to team, the data gets lost in between the transfer. People are trying to manage that data manually or on spreadsheets, and it's very, very difficult to do. And so it gets worse with scale. As teams increase and scale and complexity increase, the number of teams, the number of tools, the processes, the risk increases, right? And with that, the ease of visibility, the control, the governance, the pace, the security, all that decreases. And so delivering fast and safe is nearly impossible with disconnected groups, tools, and processes, right? It slows you down. A lack of velocity results in a late response to market, technological disruptions, and makes it difficult to continually deliver business impact. It's also expensive, low confidence in on-time and on-budget software delivery due to low visibility and ever-evolving technologies. Keeping up is nearly impossible. How many of you fit into that category? It's also fragile. Risk of security breaches, regulatory violations, production failures, and failed audits due to siloed tools and processes. And I'm sure many of you are also familiar with that. With that said, every software delivery organization must take action to survive and thrive. And this is a quote from DevOps.com. This is a well-known publication, and it says the practices of continuous integration and delivery, which is CI/CD, and I would probably add ARO to that, are fundamental to modern software development. Yet, many organizations are still using slow, error-prone, manual, non-integrated CI/CD processes to build, test, and deploy their software in their SDLC. So today, modern software delivery, what is all that about? CloudBees provides these 5 particular use cases that cover these multiple teams, multiple processes, and multiple tool stacks. So CI, which is delivered by CloudBees CI, commonly known as Jenkins or CloudBees Core. Continuous delivery, release orchestration, and value stream management, covered by a product called CloudBees CD. And feature management is covered by a product called CloudBees Feature Flag. And so we cover an end-to-end life cycle through these 5 basic not basic, but these 5 distinct use cases. And so deploying your platform on a self-managed or SaaS platform definitely helps deliver your software as long as you're addressing these 5 use cases. CloudBees SDA Solutions, CloudBees Software Delivery Automation Solutions, allow you to innovate quickly, enhance software development delivery to achieve speed, time to value, and a competitive market position. I am sure purely from a business perspective, that is extremely important. Optimize your end-to-end delivery, increase efficiency, and reduce costs associated with software development and delivery. This basically means improving the efficiency of an end-to-end lifecycle for software, but at the same time, also managing the tools and technologies that connect all these tools, processes, and people together. Thereby, you reduce your risk by ensuring adherence to internal and external policies through a secure, compliant process or processes. And so we connect fragmented software delivery lifecycle across groups, teams, and tools and processes. For those of you familiar with silos, you have multiple silos in every organization, right? You have your quality assurance groups, your development groups, operations groups, security groups, those people that do documentation. Each function uses some sort of disconnected tool, process, or data, or all 3. And this increases the inconsistencies across groups and teams, which create friction and a very slow pace of delivery. Okay, not to mention errors, rework, redundancies, etc. CloudBees Software Delivery Automation Suite, on the other hand, unifies all these through a single unified database, or a single source of delivery or of truth. And at the same time, a formal enterprise scale connected CI/CD platform architecture provides governance and reuse. Entities process the assets readily across this entire CI/CD process because they're all shared across the entire SDLC, right? And of course, a shared orchestration across all groups, teams, and tools provide full visibility across the SDLC. So purely from a CloudBees SDA solution perspective, the software delivery automation architecture is what you see on the screen. You have a single system of record, and that is built on a unified architecture, which we believe will allow you to deliver your software at scale. Our products, CloudBees CI and CD and Feature Flag, comprise of this SDA suite, which we call the SDA suite today, and form the basis upon which our customers build their software delivery automation architecture. With this, they can implement continuous integration, continuous delivery and release orchestration, and use these use cases with ease to meet any application stack or any application type. In essence, any technology, any tool, any platform to deliver to can all be encompassed within this particular platform. And so to automate, orchestrate, and govern across your portfolio, you need to drive your innovation quickly. You need to orchestrate and manage your pipelines and environments and deployments. You need to remove those long delays and errors caused by manual handoffs and tasks, and provide a native environment where developers can be more productive. I would probably add even your release managers, your operations managers, or folks responsible for the software delivery beyond development. You also need to optimize your software delivery function, provide the ability to reliably and repeatedly deploy software at scale and security. Create and share policies, best practices, and democratize your knowledge. And last but not least, reduce risk. You do that by enforcing corporate best practices, regulatory and security compliance, and collect execution data to provide custom dashboards and compliance reports. The metrics and analytics is absolutely important in this case. And so CloudBees provides the best-in-class SDA solutions with deep integration between the applications. And the deep integrations don't go just between the applications, but also with your existing DevOps tool sets. For CI integration and delivery, we have CloudBees CI, and it provides a unified software delivery and governance model. For release orchestration, deployment automation, and pipeline and environment management, we have CloudBees CD. And for feature flag and feature management, we have CloudBees feature flags. This separates your feature deployment from your code releases by allowing you to toggle on and off your features in various environments or even in production. Some of our examples of product integrations with CI/CD and feature flag are these bi-directional pipeline integrations, which allow you, which reduce the need for manual handoffs by connecting your CI/CD pipelines. This basically reduces the bottleneck and improves the value of delivery across your SDLC. Another integration is the ability to connect to masters on your operation center. This is a tight integration between CloudBees CD and CloudBees CI. This basically gives you a very seamless experience between your CI and your CD world. With that said, let's go to a demo of CloudBees CD. Great. So this is CloudBees CD. This is the continuous delivery and application release orchestration product in the CI/CD feature flag, or the SDA suite, as we call it at CloudBees. As you can see, a flow is represented in this Kanban board fashion, and software flows from left to right, top to bottom. In this case, software is going from development to QA to pre-prod and production. And for each stage, there is a bunch of tasks. You can see right here, we have a Jira task. This means that we have solid integrations with a bunch of DevOps tools like Jira, like Git, like Jenkins, SonarQube, etc. Over 200, maybe 300 plus integrations with various DevOps tools. And as you can see, the reason we do this, we talked a little bit about disconnected teams, disconnected tools. Here, because we have these tight integrations with these tools, you can plug them in and provide a standardized flow, a standardized release process to your teams and individuals that are releasing software to production. CloudBees CD itself is very robust, and so we'll kick this particular flow off by starting a pipeline. Pipelines can be started manually via triggers, via webhooks. In this case, I'm doing this manually just to show you how things run. Here, we're pulling Jira tickets. Once we pull a Jira ticket, if things are successful, you go and pull code out and then build it using Jenkins. Now, if something fails, notifications by email can go out, Also, as we flow through this, manual processes can be initiated so that people can approve code going from one stage to the next, or create tickets, for example, service desk ticket. In operations, the beauty of this is that because there's a bidirectional connection, all the data that you collect within each stage can then be pushed into that operations ticket, just so that the operations folks can now gather all that data in one place and view it and approve things for going to production. Deployment is carried out automatically through the internal deployment mechanisms, tight integrations with containers like IIS or WebSphere, WebLogic, Tomcat, Apache. As you can see, this stage just got done. A key feature in CloudBees CD is the ability to look at everything that's happened within a stage. Here, I generated a Jira report, and I can actually go into Jira directly and look at my Jiras. This is great for release managers who are trying to accumulate release notes. And so they can look at this and go, okay, this can be pretty close to what I need for my release notes. Going back here, as you can see, we have access to the Jenkins reports, the change logs, etc., etc. As we move into QA, we deployed to QA and ran some functional tests. You have access to multiple test integrations. And here we're doing a manual approval. These manual gates are critical for moving code from one gate to another. And also in the case of large enterprises where people have to do some sort of approval, these approvals can be done through the front end GUI or through email. And so here, if I move forward, this will allow me to deploy directly to pre-production, send out a Slack message, generate a service desk ticket, and move on to production. As you can see, once we deploy, we also have the conundrum of finding out what's deployed where. Here you can see I've deployed 3 applications with these snapshot versions, but if I expand my pre-prod environment information, you can see that I have different versions of the fund application within pre-prod, right? You can also expand additional information if you needed to. This is great for people who need a quick visual into what's being deployed where. Another key feature in CloudBees CD is the release dependency. This shows you the release, the applications within the release, the components within the release. If there were dependencies, those could potentially be showed over here. Why is that important? Because we know for a fact that when you release more than 2 or 3 or 10 applications, there's always some sort of dependency between the applications, or an application to a database change, or an application to an infrastructure change, or maybe everything is tied to some sort of infrastructure change, right, at the end of the day. So this dependency model here allows you to actually view those kind of dependencies when you're looking at it holistically. You can also see it in a list view for those people that prefer list views, especially when you have a large number of applications being released. Another great feature of CloudBees CD is the release calendar. Why is this important? Because when I do have multiple releases going from dev to production, we need to know, one, what the schedule is, what the state is of the release, and also be able to drill down into additional information on those releases. The black lines are environment reservations. This is a key feature of CloudBees CD. It allows you to reserve your environments when we try to do deployments to these environments. Usually in large enterprises, you get an email or some sort of notification. Because we store all the environment information and resource information within CloudBees CD, you can block out those environments so that nobody deploys to, in this case, for example, production environment, which means that we've blocked it out for Thursday the 3rd. If a release comes up to production on the 2nd, it'll pool there and wait until the 4th when that environment reservation lifts. Now, with all this information flowing in, we end up with a bunch of metrics. What do we do with the metrics? Well, CloudBees CD has an excellent metrics and analytics dashboarding system called DevOps Insight Dashboards. And with it, we package about 8 or 9 different dashboards. This one in particular is called the release dashboard. It shows you environments with the most deployments, applications with the most deployments, the total amount of automation in a release. Why is that important? As you improve the automation, you want to see that number go up, right? And so it's a metric that lets you judge the progress that you're making in your automation. Top 10 applications, top 10 longest running pipelines across the releases. Another sample dashboard here is the microservice deployments. When we start moving from one large architecture base to a smaller application architecture like microservices, the models change. And so you're looking at deployments to clusters as opposed to virtual machines. And so this dashboard in particular gives you the microservice data that a lot of companies need today. Filtering is done through these filters right here. We have logical groupings. You can filter by clusters again, and tagging if it's heavily used. Last but not least on the dashboards is the DORA dashboard, which shows you change failure rate, deployment frequency, total number of deployments, environments with the most deployments, application with the most deployments, etc. And last but not least, we have what's called a smart map topology view. This is great for those people that deploy microservices to clusters and don't know how they're all tied together. And so today you can double click on a cluster and that information would show up on the right-hand side of that screen. So you can see here as we hone in on a cluster or on a service, that information can then be displayed on the right side. This is also great for other infrastructure like Amazon, Azure, or even your internal hybrid infrastructure, if that's the case. This auto discovery allows you to generate the smart map and give you an insight into what your application portfolio and what your application architecture looks like once your applications are deployed. And with that, I will stop here.